was an icon and an idol for us. But I'm gonna tell you one that you probably haven't heard. One time, years ago, Terry and I were invited. Teddy Riley was working with Michael Jackson a lot, and Teddy Riley invited us to come to Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch for the 4th of July. We didn't have nothing to do, so we were like, okay. So we went. He picked us up in a limo. It was a long drive too. And so we went out there, and Michael was there, and he had a few other friends, other people, I don't know, and, he showed us around his ranch, and he had his chefs prepare, all this really special 4th of July food. And when we sat down to eat, Michael disappeared. He didn't sit and eat with us. So he came, but he came back later, and he invited us. He had a game room, like a gaming room with all these video games and pinball machines and all that stuff. And so me, Terry, Teddy, and a few people that were friends of his were in there, and we were all having a good time gaming, and he was in there with us, and then he disappeared. And the next thing we knew, everything just went dead, like the power blew. And we were just like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And then we couldn't continue playing. And then he came back in, and he was just cracking up at us. And he said, I pulled the plug on you guys. And he just thought it was so hilarious. So he was a bit of a jokester, I think, It was really funny, but he was a sweetheart. And for me, I was a huge Michael Jackson 5 fan. Like when I was a little girl, the Jackson 5 were a group, and then Michael went solo. But I was always, like from the beginning, a fan, and I just, always, they were a little older, but I just always felt like I want to be a recording artist too. If they could do it, I could do it. They sort of instilled in me that dream that you can do it, and I had hoped that as a child I could accomplish that, but obviously it wasn't until years later that I did have my break into the record industry. And then looking back, I was really actually thankful that I didn't have a big entry into showbiz as a kid, because you hear all these stories about child actors and child, people that are in the industry that just didn't have a great childhood or just had to sacrifice a lot to be a star. And so, but he was my biggest inspiration.
So